These days, almost every single person you know has some sort of a smartphone. And of course, it goes without saying for adults, but increasingly, younger people have phones, younger than I'm sure many of us wish. It is a tough decision for a parent to determine at what age and stage it's appropriate for the kid to have that phone. And there's lots of things that go into families making that decision. Here's some new fodder for how you think it through. It is a book. The book is called The Things You Have to Do Before I Buy You a Phone. Its author is Adam Ferguson, and he joins us now from Columbus, Ohio. Hello there.
Pleasure to be here, Bruce. Thank you for having me.
As our listeners know, I have a teen. I think your book is a genius idea. I wish I had it a couple of years ago. Where did this idea come from?
I think most parents have that moment where you see your child or a group of your children's friends heads down, lost in screens, and we compare it to our own childhoods and the active participation we had with the world, we were forced to have with the world, and I think we think something's lost. So it just repeated watching my own children, repeated moments like that. I just kept thinking about all the things that I wish, all the experiences I wish they were having.
Mm. I will say we were not certainly not the first. We were almost the last to get our kid a phone. They got theirs in grade 7. Tons of parental controls, tons of discipline around that, and it's a tough go. It is a really, really tough go. Your book includes 50 things, 50 examples, 50 tasks. Give us a flavor of some of the ones that are on that list.
Yeah, it's a mix of, some of the experiences I wish that my kids were at. Well, there's some practical things like, cooking a meal for the family or doing the laundry. These are things you're going to have to know how to do later in life, and they're important that we make time for them now. There are some more advanced life skills like, learning how to build a fire, catching a fish, knowing where your food comes from, growing a vegetable from seed. These are things that take a little more time, and, have some risk to them, but they're great life skills to carry on as you get older. And then there's some spiritual things like, visiting a cemetery, going on a weekend road trip with me. That can be kind of a spiritual idea, going with a parent. So all these things, yeah, I think they all kind of combine to hopefully create a fulfilled childhood.
Mm. One of the things I love about it is it's consistent with the idea of you give me X, you get Y, which is a part of the transaction of being in a family. That's quite familiar. The thing that is uh, distinct is the quality time that you expect your kid to give you in order for that transaction to come to fruition. And I really love that. I think that's going to resonate with a lot of parents in terms of their drive and their interest to foster emotional connection. Is that a big leap for some people, or is that the type of person that this book resonates with? Is like, oh yeah, I want that. Nobody's put it that way before, but I want that.
No, I mean, from what I've seen, like you said, with the parent and children, it's a lot of times carrots work. We know the carrot and stick transactional philosophy. And this book is a carrot. It's 50 things. Every kid is dying for a phone. They start asking third, fourth grade, when can I get my phone? When can I get access to it? And if you give them this list of 50 things, they see it as like, from what I've seen, every kid grabs it and they start checking things off.
Mm.
Oh, I've done
Yeah.
these 5. And then the parent
Yeah.
challenges them and say, no, you really haven't. Let's go through it again.
There are a couple that I still don't know how to do. I'm years old and I do not know how to throw a punch. That's one of them.
Oh,
Learn to throw a punch. Why did you include that?
yeah, well, I think that there's that one and Break a Minor Law were the two that kind of pushed the boundaries a little bit. Yeah, I never want a kid, I'm pretty deliberate in the book about how this is self-defense only. But you want a kid to be able to stand on their own 2 feet. And if they're stuck in a moment where they have to defend themselves, to not get flustered, scared, to face fear. A lot of these challenges are just about facing the fear of the unknown and being prepared. So yeah, learning how to throw a punch was one of the ones that I was very cautious about how to write.
I would have counter offered and said, "How about I use my sense of humor to de-escalate the situation? Does that work, Dad? Now can I have a phone?" Another one that I particularly loved, especially at the age and stage my kid is at, is let me take you and your friends somewhere to hang out. My kid will barely be seen in public with me. Earlier,
Exactly.
they would have, perhaps. What are some examples of things that you've tried on this one? Did you try and bring them into your space and indoctrinate them into a type of music you liked, or did you let them set the scene?
Yeah, I've both. I mean, fortunately, my kids tolerate me pretty well, so I've taken them to some concerts, to experience some music. But it could be as simple as just taking them out to ice cream. If I can take my daughter and a group of her friends just to go with ice cream, just to hear them talk for 45 minutes,
Yeah.
the conversations they have, what's important to them. It brings me into her world. I won't over communicate or participate in that moment, but at least we'll be a little closer together. And her friends will get to know me. I'll get to know them. There's those moments you have to kind of engineer them.
It's such a hilarious dance. My kid had some friends over after school yesterday, and I was just finding the exact right level of engagement. So I meet them, I ensure there are
Yeah,
snacks, and then I disappear. Disappear.
it's hard. It's hard.
This is a program about money. You've got a couple that relate to that. Save enough money to buy the phone yourself. Manage that money in a bank. Talk a bit about what you would say are the key values that should be a part of, as I this is my word, the transaction of you do X, I give you Y.
Yeah. One of my favorite tasks in the book is get paid for a skill.
Mm,
And when I wrote that, I pushed them a little bit to go past the lemonade stand. Find something you're good at that the world will locate value in, and then turn it into, a, a job that you can do. So yeah, I want kids to understand the value of money, to see that effort equals compensation, and then putting that money away. I mean, if we're working towards a phone, let's know the amount that we're working towards. Let's set that goal. Let's find a way to put it away over time, feel the value of like seeing that money accumulate, and then reaching your goal. I think that that these are practices that, when we were younger, allowances were more common. Kids participating in the household chores were more common. I want to bring some of that back. I just want to bring some of the physical world, participation back instead of
mm,
just sitting drifting in the digital void.
mm. At some point, your kid's going to get a phone. So whether make sure they do these 50 things plus 1,000 more, at a certain point, they're going to get a phone. What role do parents play once the grenade is in their hands?
Yeah, for us, it's just been paying a lot of attention. If you see them, if they've been prone on a couch for more than two hours, that's up to you to say something. You know, I, it's less about being, I think, the cop, because it just creates this us versus them, like take it away, take it away, take it away, and more showing them alternatives to what they could be doing. What I try to do is just remind them that the phone is a tool. It's a great utility tool. It can help you get places, it can help you communicate, but it shouldn't be a place where you're spending a lot of time just infinite scrolling, wasting a lot of time on video games or social media, or just empty calories, if you will.
Mm. What wisdom do you have in terms of age and stage? So let's just say I dial back the clock and I've got a 5-year old, and your book lands on my desk. How would you advise someone who's still got like a fair amount of runway here in terms of when to seed this conversation, when to begin on checking things off that list?
Yeah, I think the stress most parents feel is, around 12 years old, middle school is when the kid starts to want a little distance from the parent and to be more part of a social network. And the challenge we have today in modern technology is that that social network is tied to digital communication. If the kid doesn't know where his friends are, they can't be there at the same time. So, it's going to start around 12 years old. I would push to 14 if possible. In
Mm,
fact, the last task in the book is turn 14. It's a little bit of a joke. And I acknowledge that it's a dad joke and that kids grow at their own stages and maturity levels. But I think uh, I think eighth grade would be the ideal state.
Mm. The harms of smartphones are pretty well documented, but they are not uniform. So there is a difference between I can text and watch YouTube versus I'm on Discord and Twitch and Snapchat. How do you help parents discern what aspects of that phone they are going to enable and what aspects they are not?
It's tricky. I mean, kids know how to jailbreak things, and they get swept up in their own kind of social networks, trending platforms. Again, paying attention is really important. Knowing, not being a police, but being a communicator. Knowing what your child is up to and talking about what they're getting into. Just, you don't want them feeling fearful or lost in the digital space. You want them to have a trusted relationship with the parents so they can ask questions. That's number one. Number two, I think this is the point of the book. It's like there's so much to experience in the physical world in real life that is so valuable and will teach you so much about you know the pleasures and the work connected with living. And I just think the more that they can see value in that, do these 50 things, the less tied to the digital kind of empty void they will be.
Mm,
That's my hope.
I love it. Adam, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Bruce, I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Adam Ferguson is the author of a book called The Things You Have to Do Before I Buy You a Phone.